Oh, hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for ScubaRadio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling your radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that ScubaRadio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown?
Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for ScubaRadio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome. This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ and Bubble Boy both in the studio back with me today. How are you guys doing?
Back at you.
All right. Yeah, last week we had a little COVID scare, so I had to kick everyone out. But we're back. We're at least at 75%.
Don't cough on me, you sick bitch.
No, I'm
sounds
just
a little raspy, CJ.
No, I'm talking about doing the show. I mean, physically, yeah, 110.
Greg, turn your head and cough.
No, whoa, hey, don't put your hand there. All right, ScubaRadio, Scuba Squad, connected via the web, made up of Barry the Bugger, Jerry the Diver Guy, Mermaid Kristen, Mermaid Rachel, and back from the dead, Vinny Two Tanks, ladies and gentlemen. Look at him. How about that? We got him on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch.
He's all bundled up. You have snow there where you are? Did you
out
have
there on the left coast?
Stuff?
All right. Classic
Okay.
Vinny has to turn on his mic first before he can talk. Yeah, you forgot, Vinny. You got to turn that mic on.
It's freezing.
Greg,
It's freezing.
Greg, why was your
Yeah,
face
we've
post
had a lot
picture
of-
showing
we-
a...
You got a lot of what?
We got a lot of rain. We're actually we've been in a drought for like 3 or 4 years, and this winter we're out of the drought.
Now you got a ton of rain. Thank God you're a scuba diver.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, but Vinny was a little bit under the weather. We'll leave it at that. And now he's back, and it's good to have him back, all bundled up. He looks like he's, hanging out in Alaska in the Great White North, but he's out there in California.
It's pretty nippy out here.
It's pretty.
I like
it's
the hat
nippy,
he
huh?
has on.
Yeah, he has a watch
It's
cap
nice.
like Barry the Bugger.
Yeah.
So he has very poor fashion sense, is what we're saying.
I heard that.
But regardless, we're glad he's back with us today, as well as the rest of the crew. Mermaid Rachel has some big news that we're going to talk about in just a bit. But before we get to her, I want to bring on a special guest. Dan is with us from Scuba Divers Uncensored. Dan, welcome to ScubaRadio. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So Scuba Divers Uncensored is on Facebook. And if you haven't seen their group, well, you haven't been online.
I love that.
It is remarkable what they've done. And I'd say, I don't know, you guys have been doing this, what, maybe a couple years? Probably not even that, is it?
I think, actually, we just hit 4 years.
Oh, has it? Okay. Well, see, shows
You
how
just
much I
found
got
out
paid
about it. You
attention.
don't know Jack.
Right.
Yeah, welcome aboard. Bye.
Yes, I stumbled across these guys probably about a year or so ago, maybe a little bit longer. And I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting because they're doing everything we can't. So if we want to stay on the broadcast radio, there's a lot of stuff they do in this group on Facebook that we can't cover. But I'll tell you, some of it is quite entertaining, quite funny stuff. Some of it definitely not for the faint of heart, a little off color sometimes. But hey, we're divers. We're a little twisted anyway. That's kind of how, we built this show that we do at ScubaRadio. So I instantly tapped into what they were posting. And was that the idea when you started Scuba Divers Uncensored, Dan, or what do you think?
Well, the genesis of the group was basically, there was another, I won't say which group it was, but there's another Facebook group that really wanted to control all the conversations. And I got into a tit for tat with one of the admins about spearfishing. And
Yeah.
I don't even spearfish. I don't eat fish. It doesn't even matter to me. I was just kind of confused as to why the conversation was being controlled. And I ended up getting booted and blocked. And I said, you know what? I bet you I can do it better.
Sure.
And, so I just kind of opened it up and I said, look, as long as the conversation and the content stays within the Facebook platform rules, have at it. And
Right.
it took off from there. And, you know, we're about to hit 100,000 members, and I think I just approved another 100 or so. It's
That's
kind of
crazy.
crazy the way it exploded.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, and it's impressive because, I mean, you guys are like the biggest group on Facebook by far now. I mean, it is quite a milestone to reach that level, but to just see how they've come on the scene there on Facebook in particular. And, you know, it's an impressive feat. And so hats off to you and your crew for getting to that level. For sure. And you know, the thing is, I don't talk a lot about this kind of stuff on Scuba Radio too much because there is so much of it. But every once in a while, something comes along that catches my eye, and I'm like, you know what? These guys got a great idea. I mean, you know, the thing is, like, say, you don't need that moderation. You just let people talk about what the heck they want. You know, that's where it gets into levels where, you know, you can get into the whole wokeness thing, the politically correct nonsense, and all this kind of stuff. And it ends up just, you know, taking the fun out of diving. And, that, you know, and that's the stuff. I mean, you guys do all kinds of stuff on your threads there at Scuba Divers Uncensored on Facebook, Dan. I got to say, you know, it's all across the board. You can get, you know, people's thoughts on gear and everything like that. But I love just the funny stuff. That is sometimes it's just ridiculous, but it's sometimes it's very childish, kind of like what we do on Scuba Radio. But you take it to another level sometimes, and I really enjoy it, and I appreciate it, and I thank you for providing that outlet and covering that base, and the fact that you're seeing so much success is great, you know. So there you go, man, and. Hats off to you. So, I mean, has this surprised you as much as it has probably a lot of the rest of the industry, or what do you think?
Total surprise. You know, the first few months, you know, we were watching the growth of, you know, we'd get 100 members, and we were pretty excited about that. And then we got to 500, and then 1,000. It was like, wow. And
yeah,
one thing led to another, and it's just, you know, we're picking up 500 a day or so now, 500 a week rather.
Right.
And no one's leaving the group. I mean, you get a few people that get disgusted with something, and out they go, and that's fine. It's a free country. And you know what I say to people, you know, just keep scrolling if you don't like it. If you do like it, here it is.
Well, exactly.
You didn't pay anything to join, and you don't have to, we won't refund you when you leave.
Well, and that's the key. You know, if you don't like it, you don't have to join the group. You don't have to read the posts. You don't have to listen to Scuba Radio if you don't like some of the nonsense we do. But you know what? If you do it right, and the majority of the people like it, God bless you. Keep doing what you do, you know, and I just think it's good because, you know, the thing is, it's another outlet. You know, unfortunately, we can't spend 24/7 underwater, can we, Dan? And we got to fill up our surface interval somehow, and it might as well do it listening to Scuba Radio sometimes. Being online, you guys can obviously do it 24/7 there at on your Facebook group. And I'll tell you, is there any standout things that pop up on your thread that have surprised you over the last 4 years? I'm sure there's been a few, but has there been any standout, you would say, or what?
The biggest controversy we had early on, I would say we were probably in the 15 to 20,000 member range. Somebody put a really risque post and had very little to do with scuba diving, if anything, except for the attire of the person in the video.
Right.
And I took it down and I said, look, and that's when we inserted a rule that said, you know, we got to keep the scuba related. But it was amazing how many people were really upset with me for taking that down. But in hindsight, if I didn't, I think the group would have gone a totally different direction and not what the intended direction was.
Mm-hmm.
It was more about the dialogue of people conversing back and forth versus putting up, you know, really stuff that would have gotten us taken down had I left it up. So
right.
You do have to watch the content, but
you got to abide by the Facebook guidelines, and there is a line, you know, even they can't cross. Unfortunately, that line is a lot farther than what even we can cross, which is part of the reason I like it. Scuba Divers Uncensored, check them out, help them get over that 100,000 group member milestone, and we got more coming up. Stay close.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Bula, You'll hear that a lot when you visit Fiji. It's more than a greeting. It's the spirit of this friendly country. With 333 islands, white sand beaches, and year-round tropical warmth, it's hard not to feel happy at this exceptional dive destination known as the soft coral capital of the world. Fiji Airways has a modern fleet of aircraft to take you to Fiji in style and at great prices. Contact your travel agent now or go to FijiAirways.com and plan your Fijian dive adventure. That's FijiAirways.com.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Hey, baby, what's going down?
Later, nerd.
Are you lacking with the ladies?
Nope.
Enhance your scuba superpowers with a new Scuba Radio hat.
Wow, nice hat.
Just picked it up at ScubaRadio.com.
Buy 2 Scuba Radio hats and get free shipping.
Need a dive buddy, sexy?
Always. And I got a Scuba Radio hat for you, too.
New Scuba Radio hats are now available at ScubaRadio.com.
So cool.
Order yours today, or stay a loser.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Immerse yourself in a whole new world when you go deep sea diving.
Oh, I've got the perfect outfit. This is great!
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, and CJ and Bubble Boy in the studio with me. And then the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad connected via the web. Dan from Scuba Divers Uncensored with us, which is nice. We got a nice addition, an upgrade to the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad this week. And by the way, before we continue on there, Dan,
not you,
with
Barry.
Everybody else. Yeah, be quiet, Barry. How close are you guys to that 100,000 member mark? You're really close, right?
Yeah, I think we were at 99.6, so we're just going to round up to the nearest 100,000.
Okay, so any day or next week or two or whatever, you figure?
I'd give it 7-8 days, yeah.
All right. Yeah, what happens
so if
then?
I sign up in the next 24 hours, what do I get?
Yeah,
there's a big prize for that 100,000th person. We haven't announced it yet.
There you go, Per. There you go, Casey.
Well, I'm going to take care of it as soon as I'm off the show.
Okay. Right. Well, you can multitask if you like. That's fine. You know,
no, I can't.
Well, that's true. How about Casey?
I'm old.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you have to ask to be joined to Scuba Divers Uncensored. So once you, I would use an alias if I were you, Casey.
We're very exclusive.
Yes.
Okay.
Use an alias. Increase your odds of being able to join the crew there.
Spell it initials K and C.
Okay, that's an idea.
Wow.
What was that? You're Barry goes, wow.
Wow.
What are you doing? Mushrooms today, Barry? Wow. What the hell, man? What's going on?
He's tripping balls.
I'm telling you what, something's wrong with this boy.
If I put Greg's face up here
sometimes,
it steals away your pirate face.
Oh, Barry the bugger. How dare he? What? Who's yelling now?
What's with your one eye there?
Oh, I'm a pirate today. You can see this on YouTube, Facebook Live, and
don't say it.
Twitch.
Don't say it.
I'm everything but a pirate. Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it alone. All right. Moving on.
You're a
There's some more other. Oh God.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I believe that would say firing over the bow.
All right, quiet. Gee, see what happens, Dan. These guys get out of control. I can't just kick them out of the group like you do on Scuba Divers Uncensored.
I've been gone for a
That's a
couple weeks. I'm
feature.
all fired up to be here.
Yeah, we're gonna get
Oh,
that
you don't have a
feature
block
added.
button? That's
Yeah.
a great block.
Yeah, block, mute, yeah, whatever. But let's talk to Mermaid Rachel because she has some big news today. We've been talking about it a little bit over the last few weeks about her auditioning for America Ninja Warrior.
American Ninja
Warrior. American Ninja Warrior.
Bail.
Yes.
Second word. Bail, Greg.
And you have your date. You're going to do this like within the next couple weeks, right, Rachel? Is that the deal?
Yeah. So I got accepted to compete on American Ninja Warrior. I actually wasn't even planning on auditioning, but they contacted my diving Instagram and they're like, "Hey, we like your story. We want you to at least apply." And I was like, "Oh, sure, why not?" And so I applied, not expecting to hear back. And I was freediving in some springs in Florida and got a call from a random number that I didn't know. And they said, "Hey, we want you to be on American Ninja Warrior." So I'm going to be on season 15 of American Ninja Warrior.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
If you are called a ninja, do you have to kill people?
Duh.
I'm asking her.
Not sure. I doubt that. I hear rumors that they might have us compete against each other, but I don't know any solid details yet.
Yeah, he hasn't been watching the show. Good job. Good job, Cock Johnson.
You don't know if you don't ask.
Okay.
It's called the word ninja is right in it.
Well, it is. That is true. But
It's either that or a food processor.
We may have our own hit person. After she gets through this whole process.
That's what I'm thinking.
Maybe. Yeah, and after today's show and how things gone so far, there's a few I'd like to take out.
I have a list.
I might, yeah, exactly. Barry.
Right.
Just be quiet, Barry. I'm talking to.
Wait,
what? Okay, go ahead.
What? Rachel,
None
are
of
you
us
going
want
to
to
start?
hear this.
Are you going to start working out in the morning? Drinking the raw.
Well,
eggs
she's
and all
been doing
stuff,
that
running
already.
every day?
Yeah, actually, I was talking to Rachel this week when she gave me the news that she had actually been picked for American Ninja Warrior. That she said, "Hey, Greg, and Jerry the diver guy, don't get excited." But she says she already has a six-pack, and I'm talking about the muscle kind, not the kind that Jerry is attracted to.
Let's see the guns, Rachel.
Oh my gosh, I've got like little pea shooters. That was the running joke.
Hey, look at that!
There, probably.
But,
Wow.
So I do have some.
Look at that.
abs. They're
Whoa.
starting to come in a little bit. But,
Okay, all righty. She's working out. She's doing her thing. I love
You don't
it.
want to see mine get six pack.
No.
You just made
It's a
Barry's
barrel
day.
keg at the best case. But regardless, I mean, I'll tell you, Rachel, what I love what you're doing here is that you're giving our crew something to aspire by because you want to be fit to dive and see we can aspire to do, what she's doing right now, which is training for this. I mean, how are you feeling about it so far? Because you got about a week or two before you have to do this competition.
Yeah, so filming happens on the 21st. So there is the opportunity for people to come watch live.
Right.
However, I've had 6 weeks from when I found out that I was going to be on the show until now. So it's been like daily doubles of like running to a swimming pool, swimming, so I can make sure that I'm upping my cardio and dropping weight.
Right.
And then I'm climbing like several hours a day in a climbing gym. But as far as how I'm feeling, we'll see how it goes. Like there's a lot of like building body awareness for throwing yourself at different obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that I want to do is for every obstacle that I beat, I want to organize a beach cleanup. So, the whole thing is like with scuba diving or with free diving, you never dive alone. You always have mentors. And that's something that I wanted to take into Ninja because I've had a lot of mentors in the Ninja community as well. So it's kind of like this whole thing of like ninjas don't dive alone either.
Yeah,
So
there
for every
you go.
obstacle I do, I'm going to do a beach cleanup.
Right. Now, are you doing anything like putting all your scuba gear on and, putting on like 50 pounds of weight, running around the block
Oh my
to
gosh,
exercise for this thing? That's an
I feel
idea.
like that would be a little weird in the climbing gym, but I will probably be bringing a mermaid tail with me.
Oh, okay.
I am going
All
to be going to Catalina Island after, depending on how well I do. If I have a little bit of wiggle room, I want to go free diving in the dive park out there.
I
Where
love
does this
it.
get filmed?
Universal Studios in California.
How about that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
She's going to Hollywood.
Oh,
could
Vinny
always go
can,
to
Vinny can go up there and
Lauderdale.
be part of the live audience.
No, traffic.
Really?
Yeah.
Lauderdale,
Yep.
Terry
It'll take him a week to get there.
Finny just looked in the camera, pointed to CJ.
Am I
Yeah,
wrong?
nailed it. But
That was an
no.
inside joke for those who don't know. We
Right,
went
but
to,
no, even Vinny might make the effort to join the crowd, support her efforts, wouldn't you, Vinny?
Yeah, but traffic is an issue.
Okay.
I called it.
Take an Uber.
Wow. Well, there's other people that will support your efforts, Rachel. We'll round up the Scuba Radio Scuba Squad and do something to support you, or if nothing else, we'll get Vinny an Uber. Hey, more coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer. And Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Peregrine is a simple, full-color, multi-gas dive computer. It's also the most economical Shearwater dive computer released to date. Check it out and the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Do you have a message or a product that you'd like to share with the diving world? Well, look no further than Scuba Radio. Just like you, thousands of diving enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to ScubaRadio.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
I would like to extend to you an invitation to the party.
We're gonna have some fun without a dive. Scuba party. Now don't stay behind. Don't get left out. Scuba party. Now the scuba party is here and it's here to stay. Scuba party. If you want some fun, it's the only way. Scuba party. We're gonna dive in and swim all about, move around just like the top. Now at the party, a big party.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. It is a party as we prepare for Mermaid Rachel to go after American Ninja Warrior, represent scuba divers, mermaids, and God knows who else. We'll have her back, and when she does this in a few weeks, and we'll see how this thing progresses. I mean, they're taping in a couple weeks, and she'll, she won't be able to tell us how she did unless we watch, I guess. Is that right? Because this isn't going to air for like 6 months or something. Is that how it kind of works, Rachel?
And they're going to air it, but I think once it happens, my lips are sealed, at least until it comes out like on mainstream TV.
Right. We're going to go down underwater on a scuba dive, and she's going to tell us, and we won't hear a thing. And that's
You
one way.
watch me, okay?
Right. See, we'll do it with scuba diving hand signals. That would work. But that is a cool thing. I mean, we ought to come up with like a scuba diving workout. I just threw that out there. Put all your scuba gear on, every piece of gear you own,
And do pull-ups?
all the weights, and just walk around your neighborhood, jog maybe if you can do it. Kristen, what do you think? Would that be a good scuba diving workout program we could start? You could head that up as part of your mermaid routine or something, you think? She's like,
Greg, I can't even jump off the boat holding my own gear yet.
oh, there's that. All right, maybe it's a job for your dive buddy.
It'll
True.
be a job for me once I get. I'll gradually add the gear on and then and work my way back up to that.
Right.
Well, Kristen and I can dive it together, and I can help her out with her gear.
Well,
It'll
that's
be fine.
right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they would be a great buddy team. It'd be like Barry and Giovanni back in the day.
There he goes.
Well, you know, Greg, that's what I tried to say earlier. If she wanted to get a workout, all she has to do is carry Barry's gear all
Right, right. Well, what about you, Jerry? Would you do that? Yeah, you could walk up and down the mountains of Virginia in your full scuba gear. Have you ever considered doing that as a workout?
No.
I think you should. This could be the new thing. This could be like sweating to the oldies.
I bet Jerry'd hike up and down the mountain before he carries Barry's scuba gear.
Well, there's
Probably.
there's that.
I don't think the weights would be enough.
Just
One
to
of
get
my
it
favorite
still.
workouts.
Oh, say it again, Rachel. What?
Oh, I used to I worked a season as a dive master in Thailand, and that was one of the best workouts. Is just like moving people's tanks to and from the boat. So it was something that everybody got super in shape doing.
Well, there you go. You know, next time I'm on the dive boat, whether it's a liveaboard or a day charter, I'm going to just tell my buddies, like, hey, take my gear, load it in, set it up, do the whole thing.
Nope.
I'm asking you to do this for you.
Nope.
Not me. It's not me. I want you to be.
But you get no benefit from it.
Oh, no. Yes, I do.
You need it.
No, look at me. I'm the epitome of health. I don't need any upgrades.
I pity your health.
Yeah.
Delusional. To the bottom and let him go get it.
Okay. Well,
I do remember the three of you huffing and puffing up a mountain carrying mermaid gear, let alone scuba gear.
lamos.
I was not puffing.
Jerry.
That's not what
I was the only one that wasn't huffing and puffing.
That's right.
Screw you guys.
I wasn't huffing
bringing
and
up the rear to make sure nobody got killed or left behind.
Yeah, I was just trying to make it look good for the people that succeeded getting up to the waterfall that we hiked
Greg
up to.
blew his
Fiji.
shoe out. It was hilarious.
That's right. I blew out my flip-flop.
CJ was dodging coconuts.
Hey, there was that, but that was actually at the bottom of the mountain in Fiji. But yeah,
It's on a different island.
whatever it takes. I mean, you know, I've never thought about using your dive gear as some kind of workout accessory, but why not? I think you got all that extra weight. Might as well use it.
Tank would be helpful.
Tank would be good. A lot of people use, a lot of the dive masters at the dive shops across the country and the world. They do that kind of thing. That's how Neil Watson claimed that he had such that, that Adonis type body of his back in the
for
day.
Your shoulders.
Yeah. He said, he worked at a dive shop in Bimini, and it was the best gig ever. He said, I got this constant workout. I got to wear a Speedo, and the chicks dug it. So he and you can look up the YouTube videos yourself and see for him.
That's
yourself.
okay.
It was so quiet. It was great.
Yeah, Barry's like, he's looking right now. He's like, oh
No. I just the quiet.
He's like, oh my
threw
gosh.
everyone.
He's like Aquaman.
Screenshot, save to
to hold his
folder,
phone up
save
to
to
the camera.
folder.
What are you talking about? Barry
No.
has that as his wallpaper.
No, I don't.
Oh,
Nervous
boy.
laughter.
Exactly.
Sure.
Oh, brother. No, that's creepy laughter. That's there's a difference. Okay. Well, we got that. Now, by the way, I guess everybody keeps making a comment about the fact I'm wearing a pirate hat.
You are? No, you're not.
Yeah, it's a leftover
there it
from
is.
On the
World of
Zoom he
Boat.
is.
On Zoom. You can see this on Facebook Live, Twitch and YouTube, and I apologize.
Where you are there, you're not there. What am I looking at over here where you're not?
In the group window, you'll see me in a pirate hat, and I'm just trying to, keep the show water focused. No, it's not working, is it?
Sure.
No, actually, it's one of them. It's a Zoom filter. It's messed up. It's locked. It looked great on the World of Boating radio show today, but now
you can't turn it off. Huh?
I can't turn it off.
I'm glad I didn't install that.
Yeah. So anyway, I apologize for that. What are you going to do? But yeah, we got Mermaid Rachel to celebrate in her attack on American Ninja Warrior, and I love stories like that because I think any attention we can get in the mainstream media for diving, free diving, mermaiding, whatever, anything loosely connected to our sport that we love. And the more that we can expose this activity to the masses, the better. I mean, that's what Scuba Radio is built on. I think that's what Scuba Divers Uncensored really, they're tapping into the group of people that are attracted to this type of, fun stuff that we do as divers. And sometimes it gets a little twisted and a little off, but I think the more things that we can do to draw attention to ourselves in that regard and expose people to it, not only is it good for the sport in general, I think it's good for the people you're turning on to for it. You know what I mean?
Expose people. Got it.
Yeah. No.
Well, I mean, that's one thing that I saw, like, when I've been on the Scuba Divers Uncensored forum is, like, sometimes you'll see people posting in and they're like, hey, I'm a newbie scuba diver. Like, does anybody have tips about, insert subject here?
Right.
And I'm seeing that in the mermaid community and in the ninja community, because there's a whole community around the ninjas too. Like, the amount of people being able to, like, mentor you through a lot of these different forums is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, once again, it's good for the community, and it's good to expand people's, their
horizons.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Rachel, next time you're in Florida, will you teach me how to throw stars?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. We'll try underwater.
Right.
It'll be fun.
I need it above ground.
Yeah, well, above ground, they'll probably be on fire because she does that.
You watch me, okay?
Right. Okay. She knows. She knows the lingo, the whole thing.
Right in the eye.
Sounds just like a ninja, for sure. Yeah. Also, believe it or not, the Grateful Dead and diving are combining. Did you guys hear about this?
What?
No.
Yeah. I know what you're thinking. Oh, the Grateful Dead, they don't even exist anymore. Well, kind of in spirit. And the History of Diving Museum is doing something with the Grateful Dead. We're going to talk about that. And we may even check in with Captain Cocktail a little bit later on today on The Big Show. Stay close. Just getting started on the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Snorkel shot! Snorkel shot! Snorkel shot! I'll spend the weekend in the deep end. The water's fine, y'all, so just come on in to the deep end.
Guys, I'm bringing the party to you.
Of a dive bar. Of this dive bar. Come on! Talking about a dive bar.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. Greg the Dive Master, Scuba Radio, Scuba Squad. We're getting excited for many reasons. We got the History of Diving Museum. They got an event coming up that entails something with the Grateful Dead. We'll get to that in just a bit. Also, Uncle Cal is going to join us on the show today.
Who?
Uncle Cal.
Who the hell's that?
Not Cal. Cal. C-A.
Calcium.
Uncle Cal. I love it. I mean, maybe we ought to talk to him and see if he ought to change his name to Uncle Cal. That would be that would definitely have a ring to it there, Bubble Boy. Good connection. It might be an upgrade, or chances are it'll be another terrible idea that we'll pass along on Scuba Radio. But no, Uncle Cal has a dive program down at Blue Heron Bridge here in Florida, and we're going to talk to him a little.
What?
Hey, Blue Heron Bridge. What? Heron, like the bird,
is that
heron.
like the villages?
Heron.
Oh, blue hair on.
Oh, damn you. Okay. See, I'll
Isn't
never
it
get
heron?
anything. No, heron. Their birds are herons.
Like moron.
Correct. Thank you, CJ. All right. So anyway, we got that coming up on the show today. Also, not only do we have American Ninja Warrior to look forward to with Mermaid Kristen, Rachel. Kristen's going to be at Beneath the Sea with us in New Jersey, in Secaucus. So we're going to be in Secaucus the 25th, 26th of March. It'll be the dive center capital of the world that weekend. And it'll be the first time the Beneath the Sea dive show has taken place in like 3 years. They got a big trip to Fijian Islands with Voli Voli to give away. They got a great silent auction you can participate in. I know our friends at Explorer Ventures have a liveaboard trip you can bid on that benefits some of the great work they do with the folks at Beneath the Sea. And of course, we'll be there to open up the show Saturday and Sunday morning. So come on out. Make sure you're there on time. Join myself, Kristen, Jerry the Diver Guy. Hopefully he's going to come.
I hope.
Yeah,
still haven't scheduled my surgery yet. So
he might be getting a procedure.
That's a no.
A lobotomy.
Tummy tuck, I think, is what it was. He was going to go across the border into Mexico. And
that changed real quick.
Yeah, I told him, I said, look.
Bad idea.
Yeah. Why don't you just stick to coming with us to Beneath the Sea? And he's like, well, okay, maybe. So, yeah, it might be, it might be not the svelte version of Jerry the Diver Guy that we were hoping to, debut at Beneath the Sea. But you'll take what you get. Right, Barry? All right, Jerry? Or both? No, he has no comment.
Right now.
That's okay. That's okay. So, yeah, we do have that coming up. All right. So there are a couple things that I wanted to throw out to the crew today or explain, I guess. And one is, and we're going to check in with Jeff Turow to South Florida Diving Headquarters if we can get him. He's a little busy today because they're celebrating St. Patrick's Day down there in South Florida.
Yay!
And yeah, in case he's
a week early.
Well, it's Friday, and sometimes you got to celebrate St. Patrick's Day for an entire week.
Yeah, but Jeff, he practices it every day.
Well, Captain
I was going to say
Cocktail.
I couldn't hang with that a whole week.
Well, we have to celebrate today because the next show is after St. Patrick's Day.
This is true. Yeah. So you either got to wait till next Friday or
celebrate the hangover.
Right. Or get started a little bit early. And, being that it's going on, they're doing some kind of parade or something down there in South Florida today, and he's been a part of that. But there is actually some bad news going on, and I don't know, excuse me, Dan from Scuba Divers Uncensored may know about this too. But there's been a problem in the diving industry with insurance for dive charters. Now, we talked about this a few months ago. Actually, it's been going on for some time, and after the first of the year, they passed a new law that was part of the omnibus bill that got passed, and they snuck in a problem for dive charters, and this applies to any charter company that wants to operate and bring passengers, and basically it is an offshoot of the Conception fire that happened off the coast of Catalina a few years ago. And as a result, the issue is now that insurance companies are sticking it to dive charters. And I have been getting reports that some of the dive charters that we frequent quite a bit, some of the big players in the U.S., because this is only affecting U.S. dive charters, of course, they're seeing their insurance premiums for the year increase by like 30, 40, even 50% and more. It's insane. And, it was all one of these things, without getting too far in the weeds, it is an offshoot of the Conception fire thing that got proposed out in California. It got attached to this bill. It is passed. And now we're seeing the fallout from this, which basically is resulting in dive charter operators having to insure their boats at a level that is way higher than they've had to do in the past. And what does this mean to you, the end user, the diver that goes out on all these boats? Chances are prices are going up, or your favorite dive charter is going to potentially go out of business. Yeah, it is not good. And so this is something we're dealing with right now. I don't know. Is that even on your radar, Dan, or is this new to you?
No, it's new to me. It's new to me. We knew about the
Conception thing,
the OSHA regs with people that just want to clean boats and how crazy insurance is just to do that.
Right.
But I haven't heard much about this.
Yeah. Like I said, this is kind of industry insider type stuff, but it's really starting to come to roost right now because, all the dive charter operators for the season, as we get into the warmer months of the year, they're starting to see their premiums come through, and we're seeing the results, and it is not pretty. I mean, the DEMA organization's at the forefront of this, trying to see if there's an amendment that can be put forth to kind of offset some of this disastrous stuff that is happening. And look, and if you want to, you can look this stuff up online and get as far into the weeds as you want to on it. But the bottom line is the only people benefiting from this new rule or thing that they slipped into the omnibus bill are lawyers.
God, I hate lawyers.
Yeah. So, it's hurting everybody, and it's really, making it difficult for dive charter operators to maintain their business, and they're trying to figure out, what do we do? Do we raise, the cost it is for, divers to go diving? Do we just say, throw in the towel? Look, this is too much. I can't deal with this anymore. I mean, there's going to be some tough decisions made over the next few weeks. And so I tell you that.
Find that online?
What? Who was that? Who said something?
How do we find that online?
Well, yeah, you could go to DEMA.org. That'd be the best place, I would say, because the DEMA organization is kind of at the forefront of this, trying to offset some of these things. And like I said, this is kind of industry stuff, but it affects you as an end user, as a diver, because you're going to get sticker shock potentially in the next few weeks if you go to your favorite dive charter and they say, hey, guess what? It's costing another $10-$20 per diver because it's costing us another $10-$20. If you're lucky. Yeah, we don't know how this is going to all shake out. They're trying to stop it by passing an amendment, but who knows if that's going to pan out. So we're following it. We'll keep you informed. Just be prepared and be aware. Now you know. Now you know the rest of the story. All right, hour 2 on deck. We're going to talk to Uncle Cal and how to Cal, C-A-L, you sons of bitches. All right, more. Stay close.
Down below if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio. Let's go!
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio. This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters?
Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.
Hello there. Don't be alarmed. We're just preparing your listening device for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving. We do this, of course, by filling your radio with water. Don't worry, we're professionals. Thanks to me, you won't even get wet. You see, I've crammed every appendage of my body into the cracks and crevices of your radio, ensuring an airtight seal. By the way, don't touch your on-off knob. That's a very sensitive area. Anyway, I should remind you, we believe in the buddy system just like diving, so don't listen alone. Call your buddy and tell them that Scuba Radio is about to begin.
We're gonna start a new life under the sea.
So, am I gonna drown? Of course not. Just stay calm and let the gentle currents relax your every muscle.
Under the sea, under the sea.
Did it just get warmer?
There'll be no accusations, just friendly crustaceans under the sea.
Where the hell are the sharks?
And now, here's your dive guide for Scuba Radio, Greg the Dive Master.
And welcome to hour 2 of the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. CJ Bubble Boy in the studio with me. And then Scuba Radio Scuba Squad connected via the web, made up of Barry the Bugger, Vinny Two Tanks, Jerry the Diver Guy, Mermaid Rachel, Mermaid Kristen, Casey, the tobacco nut. We even got Dan from Scuba Divers Uncensored, who's about to cross over 100,000 subscribers right there on the Facebook group. You want to be a part of history? Join them. CJ, what do you
Are
think?
you going to change Rachel's name from Mermaid Rachel to American Ninja Warrior Rachel?
Yes, good point. Well, or maybe
Or you
we'll
could
just
call
add,
her American Ninja Warrior Mermaid.
yeah, maybe some kind of acronym like SCUBA. She'll need something that incorporates mermaids, ninjas, fire walkers, or fire twirlers, star, I don't know, throwers. I don't know. She does so many different things. She's very, very versatile. And she has a six-pack that she prepares for American Ninja Warrior. Not the kind that Jerry the Diver guy's drinking right now. The kind that benefits your health. All right, so anyway, moving on. We have added another person to the crew. Today it's Uncle Cal. And Cal, welcome to Scuba Radio. First off, let me apologize for Bubble Boy. He thought we were bringing on Uncle Cal. And so I don't want to fat shame anyone. That was
I've
not
heard that one. I mean, not since what? Second grade?
Well,
Yeah.
exactly.
He needs to clean his ears out.
And that's what we specialize here on with Scuba Radio with, unfortunately. So I apologize for that, but we're glad you're able to join us despite that, stupidity. But welcome. And tell us, what are you doing down there at Blue Heron Bridge in West Palm Beach?
Blue Heron.
Okay, hold on. Before I continue, I got to clear this up because the guys are giving me grief. It's Blue Heron Bridge in West Palm Beach, right? Or Blue Heron.
Yeah, Blue Heron. Down here,
Blue
we just say
Heron.
Blue Heron.
Blue Heron Bridge. Got it.
No, Heron.
Thank you.
Wyoming.
Thank you.
Heron Karen. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. All right. So
Yeah.
we're cleared up.
Wyoming.
They were wrong.
let
I
us
was
do this.
right.
I get
tried
no
to tell
credit.
them.
I never get credit for that.
I tried to
Let us
tell
do
them.
this,
They
Greg.
kept, pronouncing it wrong, and I apologize that
Let
Uncle
us
Cal.
do this, Greg. Cal, we're sorry for Greg's non-pronunciation of words.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay. All right. Now that we got that nonsense out of the way, we'll probably come up with some more. But let's go ahead and talk about what you're doing down there. What is it exactly?
Well,
Uncle Cal?
Blue Heron Bridge back in 2013, something like that, was voted best U.S. shore dive, best shore dive in the U.S.
Yeah.
And it's a great dive site. We've got a snorkel trail, got a couple sunken wrecks down there. Well, I say wrecks. So it is speedboats, fishing boats, that kind of stuff. Nothing
Right.
fancy.
Right.
Most of them sunk on purpose. There's a couple over near Peanut Island that actually have been accidentally sunk, and they're still trying to raise those. But we do all of our training out there, and
Yeah.
I get to go out there these days. Right now, because it's a little slow because of winter, I'm out there once a month and get to take new students out there. And the first couple of dives, it's we're focusing on skills, but by the time we get to the fourth dive, it's just, hey, let's just enjoy the fact that we're at one of the greatest dive sites out there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's wonderful. And I get to take private dive guides. Matter of fact, probably 2 years ago, right as I was getting ready to start my instructor class, we had a family come down from New York. Now, I love it when Yankees come down to Florida. It's always fun.
Right.
But this was in February, and they came down and they said, we want to hire you to do a snorkel guide. I said, oh, okay. So I show up at the Blue Heron Bridge. I got my 3 mil on. They're in bathing suits.
Of course.
It's Florida, but water temp is still kind of cold. So the
Nipply,
little
right.
girl was 5 years old. And so we get out, we start going down the snorkel trail. Mom and dad are bobbing up and down. I'm just kind of floating above them, just making sure everything's going okay. Well, the little girl seemed to get tired. So I stuck my arm out. Well, she grabbed hold of my arm, flipped herself up on my back, rode me like a unicorn the rest of the dive. She figured out that a fat man in a 3 mil is a pool toy. So
okay. All right.
Or
So
a manatee.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
So we get to do all kind of fun things at Blue Heron Bridge.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're a dive guide there, but if you want to go there, I mean, especially if you're new to the area, beginner diver, I mean, Blue Heron Bridge is an amazing dive site. Like you said, it's rated one of the best, and I've heard that it's rated the best shore dive, in the world. I don't know how that came up with that designation, but it's definitely right up there. whoever.
It's a rumor I started.
Well, probably, and that's fine. That's fine. I haven't done it in many years, but it was one of those dives that you kind of have to do, and it's really convenient for Florida divers in particular. If we're based in Orlando, and one of the places we usually go is down to West Palm or even down to the Keys. But if you're diving West Palm off one of the dive boats and you want to go get out in the Gulf Stream, that's one thing. But sometimes it doesn't lend itself to that. And, if you get blown out because the seas are a little too rough, you could hit slack tide there at Blue Heron and still get a great dive in. And and they got like octopus, all kinds of crazy stuff that shows up under the bridge there. So
but your first time, you really need to hire a guide, not because you need to hire me. We got a lot of great dive guides in the area, but there's a lot of things that that if you're not a regular, you don't know about. There's wrecks out there that nobody goes to because they don't know, because they're just floating down the snorkel trail.
Yeah.
And so when I do a dive guide, I take them out to some of these wrecks that nobody goes to. I'll plant my flag there and we'll swim around for 10 minutes just looking at the fish. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I bet. Yeah. I've seen, it's been, like I said, several years since I've been out there. And I remember the rubble pile, which is the main snorkel area, right? But those other wrecks I'm not that familiar with. So they're just a little further off of a swim from that rubble pile at Blue Heron?
Yep. If
Blue Heron, you sons of bitches. Okay.
Yeah, if you hit that, you go southeast for a little bit, you'll hit one of my favorites, Julie's Wreck, and it's nobody goes there, but it's a great site.
Well, it sounds like something I got to add to the list. Now, what you do is, like I said, it'd be great to have Uncle Cal as an orientation dive leader, and that's what he does. You just wrote a book that just got released this weekend. Is that the deal, or how long has it been out, or what?
It just released. I just formally announced it this weekend.
Okay.
It's actually been up on Amazon for about 2 weeks, but I was tinkering with it and making sure it's just right, looking at proofs, all the stuff that you do when you publish a book. But this weekend I announced it, and it's out there, and we're having fun. I wrote it when I started as a dive master. I used to love to tell stories as, I was the rodeo clown while the instructor was working with somebody else, and I tell all these stories. Well, we had an instructor named Steve at the dive center that I worked with, and he pulled me aside one day and said, "Cal, you got to quit telling all these stories." I said, "Steve, I love telling people and helping them learn from my mistakes." He says, "Yeah, but we got a lot of life-saving things that I got to teach them, and there's only so much room in their brains. And if you keep telling them the stories, the important stuff's going to fall out the back." So I said, "Okay," and so I started a newsletter for new scuba divers. It's not for every scuba diver, but it just covers the basics. And out of that came the book, because I kept getting asked a lot of questions. The basic question: what do I look for in a BCD?
Right?
Do split fins really matter? Dan,
don't bring that up on Scuba Divers Uncensored. That's a hot topic. It's Uncle Cal's. What's the name of the book, Uncle Cal?
Uncle Cal's Guide for New Scuba Divers.
All right, I like it. Now we're going to have him on a little bit more, and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the stuff he has in the book, and more about Blue Heron Bridge next on the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Power, simplicity, reliability. It's what you demand of your dive computer, and Shearwater delivers. Shearwater evolved out of one tech diver's need for a reliable, easy-to-use rebreather dive computer and quickly became the tech market leader. Now recreational divers have taken notice. The Shearwater Taric is the best, most intuitive, and reliable wristwatch-sized dive computer on the market. Check it out in the entire line at shearwater.com. Shearwater, dive computers for demanding divers.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of Scuba Radio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures Scuba Radio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Scuba action star Mike Scott is back in a new audiobook, Cayman Cowboys, Reefs Under Pressure. From author Eric Douglas comes the one that started it all. Listen as Mike deals with submarines, kidnapping, betrayal, and more.
He didn't even have fins or a mask to let him see in the water. He was going to be slow and blind. If it weren't for the float, he knew there would be no way he would ever make it to the surface.
Download Cayman Cowboys or Oil and Water, Return to Cayman, Turks and Chaos, and Lionfish at Amazon, booksbyeric.com, and audible.com.
Scuba Radio.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Oh, meet me in Malula.
G'day, Mick Dundee from Australia.
Lose yourself in another hemisphere.
Hi, I'm Shara.
And I'm Mike from the Scuba World Dive Shop in Mooloolaba, Australia.
You are listening to Scuba Radio,
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Now here's my close personal friend, Greg the Dive Master.
Back off, big boy. She's a mess.
Are you guys a couple?
Yeah.
You are a couple.
Yeah.
Well, that's perfect.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master. Our guest right now, Uncle Cal, who just wrote a book called Uncle Cal's Guide to, or for New Divers, the Ultimate Guide for New Scuba Divers. The Kindle edition, by the way, do I got this right, Uncle Cal, that it's free just this weekend if you want to get
Just
the
this
ebook
weekend.
on Kindle? Yeah. There you go. So if you want to get on Amazon, look it up and get hooked up. And it's obviously targeted at beginner divers, but maybe even for, established divers. Been doing it a while. If they've been out of the water, I would imagine it'd be a good refresher kind of thing too, wouldn't it?
Like Barry.
Yeah, possibly. Pretty much all this
Casey.
crew. Yeah. But is that the idea, Cal, or what do you think?
Yeah, it's a reference book. There's absolutely nothing in here that isn't really covered in your basic, any of the certification agencies, open water course, the basic open water course.
Right.
But all those books are teaching the class. This is a reference book. You get ready to buy a BCD, you open the chapter to selecting a BCD.
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk about brands. I talk about features that you want to look for. So when you finish that, you can go to your local dive center and pick it up.
Right. And I think as being a certified diver for many years, when new people come into the sport and you hang with them, a lot of that kind of stuff, we kind of take it for granted because we've been doing it for so many years. We forget that a lot of people don't remember, like, the basics. And, and you just kind of skim over things and forget that they don't even know. Like, remember, don't ever hold your breath, just the basic type stuff that you have to get people in tune with and that kind of stuff. So I think it's good. And then, of course, you got a great site there at Blue Heron Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
And so do you see the birds down there, the blue herons, quite often?
I personally couldn't identify one unless somebody points it out to me. So I have no idea.
Right.
They could be walking around. I wouldn't know.
Well, yeah. I don't know why.
They're pretty big and hard to miss.
Are they?
I haven't seen any underwater. So, and that's where I stay most of the time at Blue Heron Bridge.
Well,
you have little white herons that are about 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall. The blue herons can be about three and a half feet tall.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. They're pretty big.
No, Barry is, it's Barry the birder is what we're calling him today.
It's Barry lives in the Everglades. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. But yeah, you get out there quite a bit. Do you dive off the coast of West Palm otherwise, or do you stick to that particular site?
Oh,
there,
no,
Cal?
I'm on boats probably a couple times a month. My favorite boat is with the shop that I work with, and I go off. In fact, I'll be on that tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
But They dive the Juneau Reef, which is kind of offshore.
Yeah.
But we've got a lot of boats leaving out of the Riviera Marina that will dive midshore, which are much shallower dives, and they're great for students. And since it's drift diving, it's lazy man's diving. You just you basically you point yourself in the right direction and float.
When I first got certified as a diver years ago, that's where I always went, was Riviera Beach Marina. And we went on a boat called the Three Little Devils, and it was one of the only dive charter operators in Florida that actually had an onboard compressor. So you did not have to bring tanks. Casey will back me up on this. It was Casey's Dive Shop. We used to go down there all the time. You remember that, don't you,
I
Casey?
was going to say, I took you.
Yeah.
So, that's the right. It was a great boat.
It was. Yeah. And you didn't have to lug your tanks.
No, they filled it up during your surface interval.
Which explains why Casey and myself are so out of shape today. We didn't have to lift any tanks back then. And
well, I will admit that my goal in diving was always to find the most relaxed, easy way of getting my new students to get into the water.
Right. So you're lazy, is what you're saying, and you were trying to.
Yeah, because of my students.
Right. Okay, that's what it was. You wanted to make it easier for your students.
Yeah,
that's a good thing.
But I myself would have struggled with it just to prove my manliness. But
okay.
I had to think of the kids.
That's a lot of proof.
I was going to say, if you think that's going to help, God bless you. Whatever works.
Being efficient.
Yeah, but I'm surprised more dive operators don't still do that. I always thought that was a pretty sweet thing. It probably just costs too much to have an onboard compressor, but you don't really see that on any charter operators these days.
It's good that they don't, because you like to record radio segments, and then with that sucker, they're pretty loud.
Yeah, during it wasn't too bad though. I mean, actually, we used to record segments from that dive boat back in the day too.
Yeah, we just get on the back of the boat. The compressor was up in the bow. We didn't hear it.
Yeah, it wasn't too much of an issue, but it's what you do. It is what you do. But yeah, all right. Well, and then I guess you travel a bit here and there too, don't you, Cal? If you can.
When I can, yeah. We were in Costa Rica back in October with Bill Beards, and they did just a phenomenal job. Love those guys.
Well,
actually,
Costa Rica, were you doing were you going off the coast there and doing the sharks? Or?
No, we were in one of the lagoons there.
Okay.
And we had a ball. The diving was okay. It's like diving the Blue Heron Bridge. Most of the days it was 15 feet viz and really cold. So.
Right.
But if you're used to that, then it's a good dive.
Yeah. Well, I thought Blue Heron Bridge, you could get pretty good viz if you hit it at the right time on slack tide, can't you? Or does it depend?
We always dive it according to the tide, but some days, even with the tide, you can have 5 foot viz. If the offshore is messed up, we got a lot of wind or rain, then when that offshore water comes in, it's not clean. But if the water offshore, if the weather's nice offshore, the water coming in is nice and clean. I was out there with my wife just having a fun dive about 2 weeks ago. We had 30-foot viz, and it was just glorious.
Nice. There you go.
Greg.
Yes.
Ask him if he's ever seen any octopus.
Excuse me?
Just do it.
Octopus? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with I so apologize, Cal. The crew today is celebrating Scuba Radio Happy Hour and or St. Patrick's Day a little bit too early. You hear what I'm saying?
That's okay. I was at the Jupiter St. Patrick's Day or Jupiter Irish Festival earlier today, and they of course had whiskey flights, so I at least had to have one of those.
Okay,
so,
well then
I'm with you. I'm with you.
He's socially lubricated.
I like this.
Properly prepared for Scuba Radio. Very well suited for the nonsense he's been exposed to today.
We need to go dive with him.
We do. I think
because I've never been to the Blue Heron.
You haven't been to the Blue Heron Bridge?
No.
Oh my gosh!
It's
right,
east of Wyoming.
Way east.
Oh, Barry the birder. What are we going to do with him?
Barry the butthole.
What? Excuse me?
We'll go in Jerry's Subaru.
All right, that's enough. More coming up. Stay close.
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio.
Come as a guest, leave as a friend. It's a philosophy that comes from the top down at Explorer Ventures liveaboards. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo, with a buddy, or group. Explorer Ventures does the liveaboard dive experience right. For proof, know Explorer Ventures has one of the best repeat customer stats in the dive industry. They're also the official liveaboard company of ScubaRadio. You've likely heard us talk about Explorer Ventures ScubaRadio scuba cruise trips many times, and we invite you to join us on the next one. However, whether we're on board with you or not, I'll bet an Explorer Ventures liveaboard trip will be one of the best dive experiences you've ever had. It just doesn't get any better. Saba St. Kitts, Turks and Caicos, the Galapagos, Maldives, Indonesia, humpback whales, and the Silver Banks, new destinations and itineraries are being added all the time. Call one of their talented travel consultants to find the Explorer Ventures liveaboard experience that's just right for you. 1-800-322-3577. That's 1-800-322-3577. Or visit explorerventures.com. That's explorerventures.com.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
Hey guys, it's me. And I just wanted to remind you
This shark, swallow you whole.
that I'm scared of sharks. 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 They'll bite you. I don't wanna get my leg bit off by a shark. Shark, 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 shark. Stay away, shark. Sharks are fast, sharks are mean. Sharks will bite you in the spleen. Sharks are fast, sharks are mean. Sharks will bite you in the spleen.
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I don't know if that's accurate. That could be fake news. I don't know if
No, that's not true.
You don't think they do that? No, that's rumor and innuendo.
They're nice.
And spleen probably doesn't even taste good anyway.
Foot great white ping off Miami Beach.
What is he?
The shark research. They've got that acoustic system for the sharks they've tagged.
Yeah.
They said they just had a shark 14-foot great white pinging around Miami Beach.
Well, it's spring break. They're looking for something to
Yeah,
eat.
they're
Okay.
ready for the migration.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we could we can sacrifice a few spring breakers as long as they're not
Oh,
diving.
yeah.
We don't care about the breakers.
Do
They're
they
a
do
pain
the
in ass.
spring break splat?
Try that again, CJ.
I don't. Don't bother. Don't bother. We have a special guest who just joined us. Lisa from the History of Diving Museum is
Save
with
us,
us
Lisa.
to talk about they've just teamed up, or I should say they're going to channel the Grateful Dead for an
Yes.
upcoming event. What's going on with that exactly, Lisa?
So I'm sitting in front of one of Jerry Garcia's images that he made. It's called Ripple.
Wow.
And the Jerry Garcia Foundation has donated 21 of his art pieces. They're all authenticated by the foundation. We're going to get a signed certificate of authenticity. They're signed by his wife and daughter. And we're going to be silent auctioning them off at what better place than a Grateful Dead tribute concert down in the Keys.
And that'll
It's gonna be
happen, what, 2 weeks or when?
March 31st.
Okay.
It's
All
a
right.
Friday night, and we're going to have it at Safe Harbor Angler House Marina. It's a small venue. There's only going to be about 150 people there. It's very intimate settings, which will be great. We've got some. It's called Rainbow Full of Sound, and they're the tribute band. They're going to have some guest musicians with them, and one of the key things as well is the gentleman who is the Jerry Garcia archivist is going to be there. So he's going to be talking about some like behind the scenes stuff that people don't know.
Yeah. Well, one being that Jerry Garcia was a huge scuba diver.
He did over 300 dives in Hawaii.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
I knew he was an avid diver, but and I never was able to cross paths with him. But I heard back in the day that he was diving quite a bit.
In the mid to late 80s, he did a lot of diving out of Hawaii. He did a lot of coral. They weren't really doing the restoration that they do now, but they were doing mooring balls. They were talking about restoration. They were talking about conservation, and he helped fund a lot of that. So diving and protecting the oceans was really close to his heart, and that's why we were able to partner with them. And get some of his pieces and tell his story and move that on, because next year, as you know, we've been doing the Dive into Art installations for 5 years.
Mhm.
This year, the theme is Edge of the Sea, which will be on display until April 19th.
Okay.
And next year, the theme will be coral and coral preservation. So what we make in these fundraising efforts will help fund that exhibit next year.
Excellent. Well, they're always doing cool stuff there at the History of Diving Museum, right down there in Isla Morada, right? Or Tavernier?
Yeah.
Or it was,
No, we're in Isla Morada.
It is
proper.
Isla Morada.
Yeah.
They're very close together, but
We are.
look for the History of Diving Museum. Great place to spend your service interval if you're diving down there in the Keys for sure. And they're always
We need to
switching
get you
it up.
back down here.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, we're getting ready to celebrate our 26th year on the air here in a couple weeks. And I think it was the 20th that we said they were setting up an exhibit at the History of Diving Museum to celebrate 20 years of Scuba Radio. It was a total hoax.
Did you donate the puppets?
No, I did not.
That's right.
And after we did it, Lisa had heard about it, and she wasn't real clear on what the hell was going on, and I had to call her up and apologize and explain what we had done.
I didn't realize it was April Fool's.
Yeah, well, it is happened to coincide with our anniversary, but it's the truth. It really is 26 this year. So I don't know, that might be a reason to come on down. I mean, really, we don't need a reason. I mean, you just go down there, do some diving, spend some quality time at the History Diving Museum. It's well worth the effort. So we'll try to make that happen.
you.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got a 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea thing going on, or is that happening already, or what's going on with that?
It's one of our core exhibits.
Okay.
But like everything else, we update, we change things around, we add new interpretive and new information as we get it. And what we wanted to do was focus on the transatlantic cable. I don't know if you've read 20,000 Leagues lately. I read it in high school, and we have so many visitors who talk about it. I reread the book, and it is amazing that Jules Verne in 1868 was publishing about conservation, growing plants underwater. He was ahead of his time.
Right.
And, he was talking about a lot of things that we're still having conversations about. So anyway, we just thought it was published in March 150 years ago. So we did an update and added transatlantic cable to it, and gives more people things to see when they come down to the History of Diving Museum.
No doubt. Yeah, and we probably will get down there sooner as opposed to later, because she mentioned Jules the book, but the Jules Undersea Lodge, as we mentioned a couple weeks ago, they got that guy down there, Joe Deturi, who's doing 100 days underwater at the Jules Undersea Lodge. We have been asked to come down there while he does this, and I don't know, deliver a pizza or something, whatever
Well, so one of the things, Joe is a active member, and has helped me out on a lot of different events and things going on at the museum. But we have a gym suit in our abyss that is similar to one that he used when he was a saturation Navy diver. 1,947 feet.
Wow. He did that himself.
He was in a gym suit when he was in the Navy, testing it out. Can you imagine? I just can't imagine dangling 1,900 feet below the surface.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's impressive. You know, when you say that, though, I think of Barry and his gym suit, and the dangling is a whole different image, though, than what you're talking about with Joe Deturi.
I'll send you a 6 month.
No, you won't send me any pictures. But yeah, it's a cool thing he's doing to draw awareness to the environment, and a bunch of different projects they're doing, and a lot of celebs are coming in to visit him during this 100 days underwater at Jules Undersea Lodge. It's a pretty cool thing. So we're going to try to get down there. Maybe we'll do that and then do a little sidetrack over there to the History Diving Museum. We'll see if we can make that happen. Because that literally just started, right? He's just like a week or so in.
He went down March 1st.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So that was his first day. And actually, April 1st and 2nd, I know that you're going to be busy, but that's when we're doing a vintage dive weekend. So we've actually got people that are, Nowie is coming down.
Yeah.
We're going to be swimming around like sea hunt with double hose regulators.
Cool.
We've got a Mark V dive suit that we're going to be putting in the water as a demonstration, as well as the open bottom diving hoods.
There you go.
That's too bad you're not going to be around for that, Greg. You're vintage.
It's so much fun.
Gary could blend right in with his dive gear.
Yeah, maybe. You good. But all you got to do is go to divingmuseum.org. That is where you're going to get all the information about the history of Diving Museum, and all those events she just mentioned are up there on the website as well. All right, we got more coming up. Stay close to the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
This is the Worldwide Scuba Radio Network.
Prepare to rig for dive!
Your surface interval is complete. You're now clear to dive with Scuba Radio.
Scuba Radio.
The world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Scuba Radio.
Dive, dive, dive.
These people sound like they're yodeling underwater!
This is the world's first radio show devoted to diving. I am Greg the Dive Master, CJ and Bubble Boy in the studio. Scuba Radio Scuba Squad connected via the web, made up of Lisa from the History of Diving Museum right now. We got Uncle Cal from Blue Heron Bridge and Uncle Cal's new book. Check it out on Amazon. Pick it up for free. The ebook's free this weekend. Mermaid Kristen. We Casey the Tobacco Nut, Jerry the Diver Guy, Vinny Two Tanks back with us, and even Barry the Bugger is with us. And then Dan from Scuba Divers Uncensored. They're about to cross over 100,000 members in their group. And we kind of alluded to this earlier. I wanted to kind of finish the show off with this because, I mentioned the fact about split fins being a touchy subject on Scuba Divers Uncensored. It's almost like an old radio, talk radio thing. Back in the day, there are certain topics you bring up that just set people off. And it seems like it's very similar in talk radio to talking about, okay, what's the proper way to put the toilet tissue on the roll? With it coming from over top or from the bottom? And I'll tell you bring that up on radio, the phones will light up for days. It's
Over
the most
top.
It's the dumbest thing you could ever do as a radio person. It's kind of the same thing, but it seems very similar on Scuba Divers Uncensored to split fins. Yes or no? Have I nailed it there, Dan? What do you think?
It's hysterical. You can have the most beautiful picture of a family looking at a hawksbill turtle on the most gorgeous coral.
Right.
And if someone's wearing a pair of split fins, that'll be the conversation.
Yeah. And you got your fans and you got your not so much fans.
Yeah, then all hell breaks loose. It's entertaining though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, to each his own. I mean, I don't have an opinion either way, really. I mean, I'll if I got any pair of fins, I'll wear them. I like wearing my force fins when I can, and that's a thing too. But the split fin thing, when it came out, I don't know. It's probably been 20 years now. You had your group of people that were just like huge fans, and then you had the more traditionalist folks like, oh, those are crap, and they just go back and forth on online. So you have that discussion that I see pop up. It's almost like an ongoing joke at this point. Someone will make a off the cuff comment I see on Scuba Divers Uncensored about that. There's some other things like that pop up pretty regularly, you'd say, or what do you think?
I think the fun one that is semi-dive related is the measurement systems between the United States and the rest of the world, and
how we got it right and everyone else is wrong.
Right, correct. And I love poking the bear on that one. I'll just say something like, you're welcome for, and I'll bring up a world war as an example.
Okay. That's
and just or who got to the moon.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well,
and,
controversy is compelling when it comes to internet stuff for sure.
That's what makes it fun.
That's
That's
right.
why we're here.
Yeah.
Can I just say really fast? I just went to the Scuba Divers Uncensored page just because it doesn't really show up in my feed as much as it used to, just to check out the most recent posts. And the first post on the page, I'm not going to show you guys a picture because it's probably not something you can see, but it's the new dry suit of the year. Just you should look at that. It's,
okay.
It's a pretty interesting thing.
Kristen's looking at one of those things that we're not allowed to talk about on Scuba Radio if we want to be on the air next week, is my guess. Is it one of those, Kristen?
I mean, it doesn't really show much,
it's one of those. Exactly.
Blushing. Look at her. Her face is turning red.
See, they have no limits.
It's been red.
Yes.
So now that Kristen is becoming Barry-esque in her information sharing.
Okay. Yeah, but don't blame the forum for what shows up.
I take
Dan?
no responsibility for what some of these people post.
Right.
Okay?
Well, I say that for the same thing for Scuba Radio, but unfortunately,
high heel fins.
I'm the one who says
so
it sometimes.
The best part about this one is it says, going back to what Greg was saying, this should distract y'all from the split fins for a while.
That's right.
Like
high heel fins. Actually, I've seen those.
Yep.
I've seen those before. Yeah, those have made the rounds.
The Scuba Radio logo there would look good on this.
Well, hey, it could be a thing.
They'll be on the Scuba Radio website soon enough.
Yeah, we'll add that to the list.
The diver guy has to be the one to wear them.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Wait, and split fins aren't vintage enough to even show up at the museum yet.
Right. See?
So we don't even have to go there yet.
Yeah. I mean, it's a thing. They're always coming out with new stuff.
I'll make the damn thing sexy, though.
Jerry the diver guy. Wait, you think split fins are sexy?
No.
What?
The high heel fins. I can make them sexy.
Oh, the high heel. Oh, gosh.
Just because you split your pants at that one Dima show.
Whoa, hey. All right.
Everybody's got to have a wardrobe malfunction sometime or another.
Not necessarily. They don't really have to.
Imagine Jerry and his mankini with split fins. I mean, not split fins, those high heel fins.
All right, Barry. Remember, inside voice.
Down, Barry.
Inside voice.
Inside voice.
Don't want you to get excited.
All right. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that they discuss on Scuba Divers Uncensored, that is just entertaining. I mean, it's like junk food for the scuba brain. And I think you've done a great job there, Dan. And I really wish you guys the best. I mean that in all honesty. We kid around a lot, but it's not very often in this industry you see a group like that come together. And I guess, once again, the reason I think it's so cool is that I think they tap into the same twisted minds that we have kind of featured here on Scuba Radio for 26 years. I think there's a lot of commonality amongst those. I mean, you just look at us. Yeah, you see us on YouTube and Facebook Live and Twitch, and you shake your head in disgust. But you're like, well, okay, whatever.
Can I share something with you?
Sure, Lisa, please.
In our museum store, everybody comes in, they get a ticket before they go into the exhibits. We have a little, we have a DVD that we play with little jingles and little sea shanties, and we rotate things around. And I will tell you, one of the things that we have included is your little jingle from Scuba Radio.
Oh, nice! Gosh, you're a glutton for punishment. Yeah.
Does the customers usually turn and walk out?
No, they don't. They just pop their head.
They throw up a little in their mouth and then they move on through the exhibits. And but it's
people recognize it.
Well, thank you.
That's a good thing.
You figure you do something for so long, eventually someone
Greg
will notice,
donate a Scuba Radio guitar to the museum.
Excuse me?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Actually, he loves those guitars, Barry.
Yeah, actually, who's getting a new guitar is Jerry the Diver Guy. He's branching out.
Why?
Because his last name is Presley, and he figured,
Hey, I'm kin to Elvis. Why else, CJ?
Exactly. He's kin to Elvis.
Can't sing.
So
I know you can't play guitar.
But can he play it?
No.
What about the banjo?
Not.
Can he play the banjo?
I just want to be like Greg. I want it to sit behind me and not be able to play it.
All right. Well,
Greg can actually play. He'll surprise you.
I could pull the guitar out here and play something right now.
He could play a ZZ Top speed at about a ZZ Top song at about half speed.
Not quite.
What
not
about
quite.
some Grateful Dead songs?
Never.
There you go.
I wish.
Can
I
you
wish.
play the Scuba Radio logo song?
No way. That's for the Scuba Cowboy. That's his tune. He did that for us. So we'll leave it with him. Let him do that magic. Make that magic. You don't want to ruin it, Casey. Come on.
You can play Mary Had a Little Lamb.
No, I can't, actually. That's way too technical. I'm waiting for the Chat GPT to come out with a version, and we'll just tell it to play this, play that, and it'll do it for us. We won't have to know nothing. Just get a guitar.
He just looks good with the guitar.
That's right. It's better to look good than to play good, or play at all, for that matter.
That's right.
There, see, Jerry, we've trained him well. We trained him well.
You have played your electric guitar on the show before, but it's been a while.
It's been a while. Well, so one of these days we'll bring him back out when, I've lost all control and have no sense.
Practice.
Yeah, probably next week. All right, on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Till then, remember, it's always better. Where, gang? Come on.
Down where it's wetter.
Safe diving, everyone.
Captain Ron to Jock Gusto, they all love Scuba Radio. On the boat or down below, if you want to stay in the know. If you be pressurized there, you'll want to be there on Scuba Radio. Let's go!
Scuba Radio. Scuba Radio is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Scuba Radio. This seems the logical place for fish to congregate.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past editions of Scuba Radio worldwide over the internet at ScubaRadio.com.
So we're in international waters? Indeed so.
Tell a friend and buddy up with your radio every week for Scuba Radio, the world's first radio show devoted to diving.
Well, it's all very nice here, but we should be going. I miss me wife and me oxygen.
Yes, we all miss our loved ones and gases. Let's go.
The opinions you just heard on Scuba Radio are those of the hosts, callers, and guests.
Okay, what I just heard? Blah, 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 blah.
They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
Come on, quit yanking me.
Scuba diving does involve risk and should never be conducted without proper instruction and training.
Oh, what's the worst thing that could happen?
I could die.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at ScubaRadio.com.